Hi guys, and welcome to today's podcast. We have Uni, also known as Dang Skin on Instagram. I'm so excited to finally meet you in person, chat it up. But the first thing I want to hear is just a little bit about your journey, how long you've been in the aesthetics industry, and just what that looked like for you so far.
Okay. So I actually been in the aesthetics industry about 2.5 years.
Okay.
This is something that I was always in the beauty industry. Growing up, I loved makeup. But like my journey kind of started with my own skin issues, right? Like I had acne and I would try a lot of products. Like I would spend so much money like at Sephora and really like nothing would work. I saw estheticians and that's when my skin really started changing. I felt the connection of wanting to help other individuals. And once I started learning more about skin, and with me being like in the makeup industry, it was something that I connected with.
Yeah.
It really started from my passion of just wanting to help other people in like my own skin journey.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think that everybody has some type of background with, having trouble, with your skin and that translating into your field of what you're passionate about. It's so funny because I didn't even know what an esthetician was, but I wanted to be an esthetician like before I want to be a makeup artist as well. It's so funny that you say that because I'm like, I thought that's all I wanted to do, but I'm like, I want to treat the root of skin. Like if you're dealing with breakouts, like there's pore clogging makeup, there's all these things that are like hindering the true skin, skin health, which is crazy. So you've been doing it for about 2 years now. Are in your solo esthetician, when did you go solo?
Yes, I actually went solo almost like 5 months after I started
Wow.
like my career. Yeah. I, went to work for somebody else very briefly. It was a different spa and the way they were doing things just wasn't the way I would be doing things when I was running my business. It was just like not very ethical at times, where I just felt like that's not the type of esthetician I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I wanted to really go all in and give my best to both my clients and just do the best that I can.
Yeah.
While really helping other people and like inspiring others. So I decided to just go for it genuinely. Like I was driving by some salon suites.
Yeah.
And I would see like all the girls' lights and like the decorations. So I was like, that is so cute. Like I just want to like get started. So honestly, my husband and I had just gotten married.
Yeah.
And when you're getting married, you're like figuring things out. I had quit my job to pursue aesthetics.
Yeah.
So since I wasn't working, my husband was like, you know what? Like, I truly believe in you. Like, if you want to get started with your business, like, just go for it. So while I did start at the spa, like, it was brief because in those moments is when I realized, like, I don't want to work for somebody else. Like, I want to go ahead and go all in. I want to take continued education. So I just started taking like the PCA skin chemical peel course and then like the face reality course, and then from there I just started my business and went all in.
Wow, that's incredible. I think that you don't see that a lot, which I know that you just talked on your stories about just not giving up. I think what's like the biggest thing that you've learned so far, like the biggest challenges, I guess you'd say, starting your own business?
I think there's always going to be challenges, right? No matter like what, there's going to be obstacles, whether it's like getting the wrong products or even like not getting enough clients at the beginning or and you still having bills to pay. There's always going to be little challenges that go. For me, I think that one of the things that I always had in mind was that I am very driven and I wanted this to work.
Yeah.
So for me, there was no option to fail. I think if you really set your mind to making it work no matter what, it's going to work.
Yeah.
And for me, even though these challenges were something that would come, along the way, and I would face challenges just like discouragement or times where I didn't really know what I was doing, especially being so like fresh out of school and like going solo. But when you're really driven and you put all your focus on learning ingredients, learning products, giving it your all, even when you have that free time, when you're not fully booked, if you do it all with a passion and as part as the process and you see it as part of the journey, I think that no matter what challenges come along the way, I think you're you're so focused on the vision that you enjoy it.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, yeah, there was challenges of whether or not should I bring a product line, whether I had money or not, because like I said, I had gone on this like full on, and we had just gotten married. But for me, it was one of those things where I felt that it's something I wanted. So I had to just trust in God and trust the process.
Yeah, I resonate with that a lot because we started our business with 0 clients, and there was so much heartbreak in the beginning and trying everything and nothing was working. And then you finally get to a point with your business is you're not giving up. And then you finally hit that like golden ticket. You're like, okay, I can finally take a deep breath. What was that moment like for you in your business? Are you still building your clientele? Are you taking in a certain amount of clients each week?
Yes. So right now I'm actually referral only.
Okay.
I'm like doing pretty well in my business. Thankfully, I mean, like I said, it took time.
Yeah.
For me, I think what it was is when I started taking content serious, when I was like, okay, let me actually like do this, like, because this is something I want. Clients aren't going to know who I am if I don't even try to market myself.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, if I haven't gone full on, then I can't complain of why clients aren't hearing about me or finding me, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I think it was when I really put in all the effort and then seeing like, okay, like this client heard of me, and then I would ask them, how did they find me? They'd be like, oh, I found you through Instagram.
Yeah.
I found you through Google, whatever it was. I saw my work slowly paying off, where I was like, I can't give up now, right? Like this is all paying off.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's always more growth that can happen. Of course, like there's still goals I have in mind. I feel like there's definitely a lot of things I want to achieve.
Yeah.
But for me, one of those things that I did realize was that I got to a point where I was getting my dream clientele. They were finding me, and it was all because how I sold my experience on social media and the effort that paid off. Yeah,
I think that for social media and content creation, it's such like a hard game sometimes, because for me personally, I get a lot of people from Instagram, but I also get people on Google as well. Now, you said you are referral based only, right? So do you only take on clients that are referred by another client, or are you saying that's where you get most of your clients from?
Currently, I'm only accepting clients that are by referrals.
Okay.
I've, gotten a lot of influencers. I've gotten larger clientele.
Yeah.
And they're clients that really have goals for their skin. So because of that, I personally choose to focus on them.
Yeah.
Rather than having like a schedule where I'm back to back and don't get to give them the full attention.
Yeah.
Right now, because of my time and me focusing also on going to the next level, which is education and trainings.
Yeah.
So I have a limit with the clients that I am taking.
Okay, awesome. And then how many days do you work in the treatment room?
I'm working about 4 to 5 days a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as far as content creation goes, what are your goals since you're referral based, what are your goals with your business now? I mean, are you kind of going in a different direction with taking more content days or doing more mentorship programs? I see that a lot on your Instagram, so I'm so curious to hear about that.
Yeah. I always had a goal that I wanted to be in education.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would happen like so soon in my career. It's like one of those things that, like I said, I think because I went full on, I made a lot of mistakes. I learned a lot of things. I tried a lot of product lines.
Yeah.
I came across a lot of situations where I learned a lot. And because of that, I wanted to be able to help other estheticians in the industry. I wanted them to be able to achieve everything that they dreamed of, because I knew that when you start, you look at all these people and you're inspired by them, right? And you're like, maybe I won't get there, but you can absolutely get there. Even if you don't have much at the beginning. I mean, I didn't have much and I got started. So I wanted to almost be a resource. And that's why really the only reason that I switched to referral only, to limit the amount of clients that come in, not in a, bad way or anything like that, but because I do want to transition more into my mentorships and helping other, beauty professionals really like grow themselves. And even when it comes to just having somebody that they can go and ask questions about business to, I definitely want to be that resource. And it was always a goal I had in my mind that if I grew my brand, I wanted my brand to be something where it wasn't just about me. That's actually why my content started to be faceless at the very beginning, because it wasn't really just about me. It was more so about having a brand that people felt inspired by, and I can like help others grow as well.
Yeah, that's incredible. Are you so now that you're transitioning into more like I noticed that you said like faceless versus showing your face more now. Do you feel like not showing your face has affected your brand at all? Like what is the transition, your thought process with that?
I actually don't. I think that it was one of those things that when you're starting out, like I said, you make excuses, right?
Yeah.
You can either make excuses as to why you're not doing something, or you can go do it.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't have the confidence to be behind camera. Like I was not that type of girl to be like posting, you know, on social media like that. I don't know if I was just protective of everything I was building, and also like, you know, my family. I just didn't really want to show myself. I was almost like didn't want to be vulnerable either, you know? And then I thought about things and I was like, well, like I said, I have to market myself. So I have to find a way. So we started creating content. It was one of those things that I really thought about what type of content I want to do and what's my goal. My goal at the time was to get clients, right? So I had to focus on my experience. If you think of like any big brand that you know, like the brands that are killing it. Let's talk about like Red Bull or like Nike. I know this is so random. Or like Porsche, but they don't sell their product necessarily. They sell more like an experience, the feeling. I wanted to do that through my content. So I think in the moment, my content worked for its purpose. And it helped me grow my brand because that created mystery behind me. Everybody was like, you know, like I wanted to come to you because I was like, if she can make content look like this, like I want to feel like that experience, right? So I feel like I created a feeling through my videos, something different where it did create people like almost the curiosity of like, who's the girl behind this brand? I really think that that got me started. Now my goals are changing, you know, like I am going into my next step where I do need to connect more with other estheticians and turn that into that educational route. But they won't know my education if I'm not, you know, showing up and showing that side. So that's where that transition in my thought process is that I do want to connect and show the estheticians who I am, and even like overcome challenges that I was, you know, dealing with. What, like I was scared to be on camera. And I think me going out there and doing it is also proof to other estheticians that like I can go do it too. You know, like I can't be scared. So if I want to really stand for a symbol of empowerment and educate others and inspire others, I need to get out of my own comfort zone and also like grow in other directions. And that's why I am, you know, going through a little bit of a transition.
That's awesome. I think that a lot of estheticians or just anyone in general, I think that's a common fear, is showing your face and being on camera. And you do have growth in your business where you do have to step out of your comfort zone. So you have to find out those ways. And I think it's really cool that you were able to bring your brand into showing the experience, because I mean, that's why people book appointments with me, is because they see the whole experience in like my wording and my branding and my videos. And like, you're right. Like you can feel the experience of what people like, why they book that first appointment. Now for content creation with you, what did you start with? Like, what did you start with as far as filming gear?
You know, I had like an old, it was like, you know, there's the cameras that are for filming and then there's the cameras that are for photographs. I like had like an old, like, I don't know, Canon something that I didn't really know like much about it. I just like would stick it on a tripod and like that was my setup. Like I would stick it, and then like I said, I had to learn how to show the experience of what my clients felt. So with me, it was the camera, like I would set it somewhere, and then I had my Cosmo Glow as my overhead, and then I would use my phone. And we didn't like have a lot to invest in when it came to equipment. So for the most part, it was that camera and my phone. But I got better with the phone and like
Yeah.
learning hacks to using your iPhone and like maximize its full potential. I think you teach a course on that now as well, right? And I think that it was something that I got more familiar with and began to utilize a lot more. But it was really just that, and honestly, like a light that I had. It wasn't no fancy equipment.
Incredible. That's so funny that you say that, because people all the time think that you have to have the fanciest gear. And in the beginning, my best performing reels were literally just afterglows with my iPhone and like the correct lighting. I think lighting plays a huge part with your videos, and just exactly what you said, sharing the experience of what your clients are going to expect. And with Instagram growth, what I've noticed is that your content gets starts getting pushed out to like other estheticians. It starts getting pushed out to, you don't even know, like not people who aren't even in your area. Now, luckily mine has like always, at least one city has stayed in my area, but like, I think that's what people don't understand about like content creation too, is like once you get to a certain peak, you may not get like clients, if that makes sense. Like it's not the general area of your city. I mean, that's great if that happens for you, but majority of the time estheticians like start to see other estheticians content. Is that something you've noticed too, like in our industry?
Yes, for sure. I think that's where I was like, okay, you know, it's point to transition, because I did get a lot of following from other estheticians that wanted to learn from me. They wanted to learn how to create content. And when most of them do find out I'm teaching how to use their iPhone, they're really surprised, because they're like, I thought I needed to invest in all this equipment. And I'm like, well, you can. Obviously, you'll get like really quick, high quality. But you can also learn to use what you have to, you know, grow. And I have noticed that a lot of estheticians have followed me over the course of time because, you know, they want to learn from me.
Oh, yeah. And it's inspiring. I think that obviously it's so good to be inspired by other people and just continue to, I mean, inspiration is what helps us keep going, right? It helps us to create more. And how do you stay in like a creative, because I feel like I get in a creative rut sometimes. How do you keep that passion going?
I do. I have those moments, but I think that, you know, I imagine like where else I would like to take my business, what other aspects I'd like to grow. So then I really think what would, especially now that I am transitioning into more of me being, you know, in front of the camera, I think of what would I want to hear from another esthetician when I was starting out. So I think that as long as you have that like goal, always, and like remember what your actual goal is, like with content, and not just, you know, throwing random videos together and just pushing it with no purpose. Like if you really think of your purpose and what you're trying to do, whether that's inspire other people or get new clients, you overcome those things. It's normal to get into these like breaks. Sometimes I do pause for a moment and I'm, you know, thinking about my goals, and then that's when I became like start full on force again, and I'm like, okay, I need to have the consistency again. And you also see the difference when you're consistent or not. I feel like it really affects how a video is going to do when you've been off social media like a few, you know, weeks or not posted. So I definitely think it's important to maintain consistency.
Instagram's algorithm is, I mean, if you're not consistent, they just kind of forget about you, sadly. I feel like for creating content, it's so important to make sure you're creating content not for other estheticians, like when you're trying to get clients in the door. And I just think it's like cool how you've been able to kind of transition that to other estheticians and then also keep your branding as well. Now, what skincare lines do you currently carry? I'm so curious.
So I carry Vivant. I carry a Korean professional skincare. It's KRX Aesthetics. I, you know, work with Summit, so I carry their devices. I also carry Face Reality. Honestly, I take a lot of Face Reality clients. I focus on a lot of acne and treating acne, more corrective skincare. The reason I like Korean skincare products is, you know, everyone's going to have their opinion on, you know, certain products lines that they use and why they use them. But for me, I found that a lot of clients that are coming in at the beginning, their skin barrier is damaged, you know, it's compromised. So they really need that repair, and Korean skincare has a really large focus on that.
Yeah.
So I've seen the difference of when those clients do begin on a routine for me, or even I incorporate certain products from the Korean skincare, I see a difference in how their skin reacts.
Yeah.
So then we can do more advanced things or peels. And for me, it's really important to maintain their skin's health.
Yeah. I mean, a healthy skin barrier is the most important part. That's where it starts. And somebody's skin is compromised, you can't do advanced treatments. You can't get them on those corrective treatments or serums. Now, you said Mr. Lulu?
I carry Mr. Lulu too.
Okay.
Yes.
I saw that. I wanted to touch on that because I've never heard of Mr. Lulu. What's their main niche in their brand?
So they're
for their products.
They're a clean, active, company.
Yeah.
So what I like about Mr. Lulu is their like cleansing oils. When I'm starting treatments, I like to incorporate it. All his oils are really, good. They make the clients feel amazing. So that's where I really incorporate it. His peels are lactic peels, so you get to control them yourself.
Okay.
It's a powder peel. So the more water you add into the mix, the like more diluted it is, or you can maintain its strength.
Okay.
So that gives you more power for when you are doing a chemical peel. It's not as, strong if you dilute it a little bit with water. So that's really his concept. It's just a little more gentle than a lot of the peels we see.
Okay, awesome. I think that's a cool concept. So you say you do a lot of acne treatments. How do you incorporate do you incorporate Zemits into your treatments a lot with your acne clients, or is that kind of separate?
It's a little separate, but I do incorporate their devices when my clients have a lot of like non-inflamed acne, and we just need to remove that buildup and that dead skin, because the more, exfoliation when it comes to those clients, the better results we can get. Yeah. So that's when I incorporate that device. I use their Hydra Diamond device, which I found was an amazing tool in my treatment room. It provides a exfoliation method for the clients, but it's more gentle than a traditional microdermabrasion. Yeah. And then it has the hydrofacial tip. So that will allow you, to do the suction and remove the buildup in the clients. So in cases where I do have clients with not really inflamed acne, but it's more the non-inflamed acne, that's when I incorporate these devices.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then my last question is going to be, what I always ask this to everybody at the end of each episode, what is the biggest advice that you would give to a newer esthetician?
My biggest advice that I would give to a newer esthetician is probably to trust the process. Yeah. And like I did mention recently in my story, is to not give up. Yeah. Don't compare yourself, because I think if we start in that, going down that rabbit hill, it'll be never ending. Yeah. I think that you have to trust that what's for you is always going to be for you. So you need to come in the industry with the mindset that nobody is there to duplicate you or to compete against you, but we can all learn from each other, and we all have our own journey to look forward to. If you have that mindset, no matter what, you will excel in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't give up, guys. I had so much fun chatting with you today on today's podcast. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.